Welcome back to another Starting the Conversation, and I'm here with Paul, co-founder of the Home2First Foundation with his sons. And Paul, I did a lot of reading. You guys have your first baseball league happening in Phoenix. You guys have done a lot with this foundation. I don't think I can put it into the right words. So before we talk about, what's going on right now, when did you and your boys decide that you guys wanted to start this Home2First Foundation, and how did that come about?
Sure. Thank you, Jordan. So we started the foundation back in 2021. One of my son's coaches was from the Dominican Republic and was super passionate about the Dominican as a country, and obviously a big baseball supporter and mentor to my son. And he kind of inspired us to start it. We then went to the Dominican and got to see the poverty firsthand, which was pretty eye-opening, and also their love for baseball, which is well known, but to see it live and in person was really inspiring. So we've now completed four humanitarian trips to the Dominican Republic. We gather new and used baseball equipment and bring a lot of it on our trips every summer, and it's really grown in scale and scope in terms of the reach that we've provided in the Dominican. But we knew that, we were local Arizonans. We wanted to do more locally. A lot of folks said, "Hey, it's great what you're doing over there, but we can't see it or touch it or feel it." So we had an opportunity. We did a drive with Griffith Elementary, which is a school in East Phoenix, and we outfitted their entire baseball club with each kid got a bat, a glove, and cleats and a baseball bag. And the baseball coach there, who's a legendary guy, a guy named Darren Hill, pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you want something bigger to tackle? We haven't had organized baseball here for over 10 years." And that kind of sparked the inspiration for starting this new league. And so we have started the BHBL, which is the Balls Home to First Baseball League. And it's a T-ball essentially at this point. It's four teams, ages 5 to 8, K through 2. And we have a great set of kids a lot of them have never played baseball before. And we're starting, the league starts up tomorrow. It's an 8-game season. It starts up tomorrow at Promise Field at Brunson Lee Elementary.
Saturday, March 8th. That's the opening day for the league, and you said four teams, and it's young kids getting introduced to baseball. As you've kind of gone about this, what's already been some of the feedback you're getting from bringing baseball back to a community in East Phoenix that hasn't had it in 10 years? Especially I know you've lived it with your boys. It's a time in baseball where it seems like little leagues and rec leagues are further and further away as travel ball has grown exponentially, which financially is never easy. But to be somebody that's helping, bring a financially reasonable or free even league to these kids, what's that like so far?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, a lot of gratefulness from both the parents and the kids. To be honest, it's 100% free. So the Home to First Foundation, along with the Fit Foundation, are the main folks that are kind of running it. And we have a lot of corporate sponsors that have started to kick in. We're selling banner sponsors out on the outfield. It's a beautiful field, but the feedback has been fantastic. The kids, for the most part, do not understand the game of baseball. And as you know, baseball is kind of a quirky, complicated game when you try to describe it like from baseball 101. And that's what we're doing. So this is a lot of these kids have not played. So we're starting with, hey, here's baseball basic 101. But we're confident at the end of the end of the 12-week season that they will come a long way. And we've already seen that already. The other thing that we're doing that's kind of unique in this league, other than just playing baseball, is we have a baseball classroom session where every other week we go into the classroom and actually teach, different lessons regarding baseball. And so we have a books that we're reviewing. We're doing a biography. We're reading a biography on Yogi Berra and Jackie Robinson. And then we're going to have guest speakers come into the classroom, talk about and reinforce kind of the intangibles of teamwork, resiliency, hard work, all the great things that you learn from playing baseball, which I'm so grateful for in my life, and I tried to teach to my boys. So we're just kind of playing it forward with a younger set of kids.
And speaking of your boys, I think I buried the lead a little bit here, but to see, they're in high school when you guys start this in 2021, what's it been like, launching a nonprofit like this and seeing the impact it has on them? Because that's a time where selflessness isn't always uh, a trait, I would say, in high school. You're kind of
Sure.
learning that, but to see that sort of reflect through them, what's that been like for you as a dad?
It's been great. It's been fantastic. It really, I think again, the Dominican trips have, I think, were a huge eye opener for them in terms of how lucky they are to live in Arizona and have the resources that they have, because the poverty level is so jaw-dropping over there. And they grew up in an environment where, they've had access to baseball equipment. They've had, bats aren't cheap these days, right? Bats are 250, 350, $400 a piece. So it kind of takes it out for a lot of families can't afford to play baseball. So we're trying to take that away, the financial aspect away. And so the boys become even more grateful, and they know how lucky they are, and that's kind of the foundational reason why I was wanted to start this with the boys, and now we're looking to grow it and scale it even more. And this baseball league is just the beginning. I think we'll do more in the fall. We'll do more leagues, more teams, and look for more funding to actually make this have a bigger impact in Phoenix.
That's the next place I was going to go to. So, what does it take to make this happen? You listed some of your goals. It's your first spring league, 10 weeks. For those out there looking to get involved, whether it is to sign their kids up, whether it is to help, offset some of the costs for this for you in the future, what are the things that you feel like you need to continue to grow this here in Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take more funding, number one, and so we're supporting it primarily these days. And we started small with one league, four teams of 10. But financial support we're going to need as we scale it. And I think the beauty of it is we're so baseball rich in the valley here.
Mhm.
There's so many great people that have either played the game or love the game or are connected to the game in some shape or form, that it's kind of baseball Disneyland is what I call it. I've called it that since we moved here years ago. So there's lots of people that, so just building awareness for what we're doing. And I thank you for having us on because I think it helps build awareness. But everyone, once they learn about what we're doing, I think they're super excited and supportive because it's such a baseball centric area.
With this league too, you mentioned the classroom having guest speakers and stuff like that. How involved are, your boys? I know one is at Chaparral. Is he getting teammates involved or other guys he
Yeah.
plays with at different schools? Like, how's that working?
Yeah, so one of the cool things we've done at Home to First is we have an ambassador program where Ryan, who's a senior at Chaparral, has recruited other like-minded baseball players in the Valley. And our first ambassador was actually Cam Caminiti, who was drafted by the Braves and played with Ryan for many years in club baseball. But we have a great roster of 10 ambassadors from different schools around the Valley, from Castile to Sunny Slope to Saguaro, etc., Brophy. Just some fantastic kids who not only good baseball players, but even better, great young men. And so Ryan comes to, will be there tomorrow. We'll be there on all Saturday games. And he's also recruited these ambassadors. They also have been a huge part of the success for Home to First, not only gathering equipment and doing equipment drives at their respective schools, but now I think they're all quite excited about this league. They've all come out to the clinics that we hosted last in the fall to actually see if there was demand for this league, and we had a tremendous turnout. And I think having the ambassadors there was even better. It's one thing to have adults there, but I think the high school kids, I think the kids really related to even more than the old folks like me.
And I know the league is just getting started. You have your opening day on March 8th, but what's the impact you're starting to see it have on you? Because when I look at this from an outside perspective, I can see, there's a lot of talk like, oh, this generation of kids, they're whatever. And you're seeing the impact of these kids wanting to get back and really want to go all in. Is that leaving an impact on you? And if so, like, how is it changing your life a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think I get more out of it than the kids do. I say that all the time. I think for me, it just keeps me grounded and keeps me appreciative and grateful for what I have and what we have. And so I know everyone's not as fortunate as we are, and it's just again, just playing it forward. And the game of baseball is something that myself and our family is super passionate about. So it's an easy avenue for us to teach not only the game, but again, we think the intangibles of baseball are just as important as throwing, catching, and hitting the baseball. These intangibles of being a good teammate and being resilient, because the game of baseball is a game of failure. So even last practice we talked about the concept of flushing it. So when you make a mistake, you flush it, you forget about it, you move on. These are great life lessons, I think, that are oftentimes easier said than done, but the game of baseball reinforces a lot of these great intangibles. And so, for me, it's just a reminder that, you know, to live with these intangibles clearly in my head.
Before I get you out of here too, so for those finding out about this for the first time, whether it's parents thinking like, okay, I want to keep this in the back of mind for my kid, they're just turning 5 or turning 8 or whatever the thing is, what should they know about, not only this season, obviously you only have the 4 teams now and it's going to continue to grow, but what should they know about trying to be involved and maybe have their kids involved moving forward?
Sure. I mean, I think the best way to keep up with us is this, we have a website, home2first.org. We're on Instagram, Home to First. You can find us there. A lot of the stuff that we're doing is on there, and you can see the journey that we've been on since starting the foundation back in 21. In terms of kids involvement, right now it's just open to the 2,000 kids that are in the Ball School District. But in the fall, we hope to invite other kids from other school districts. So I would just keep up on our website, and Instagram is probably the best way to keep up with what we're doing. And you can reach out to us from there.
Well, awesome, Paul. Thank you so much. Super excited to see the BHBL come together. I definitely want to come out to a weekend of games here for sure and really see what it's all about. And I just want to say I appreciate what you and your boys are doing. It's really awesome to see the baseball community have a shining light out here in East Phoenix, and I think that is really cool. So thank you for the time.
Well, thank you so much, Jordan. Appreciate the time.